This is Habakkuk.
The prophet saw. O Lord, how long shall I cry for
This
help,
is for Christians.
and you will not hear? Or cry to you violence, and you will not save? Why do you make me see iniquity, and why do you idly look at wrong? Destruction and violence are before me, strife and contention arise. So the law is paralyzed, and justice never goes forth. For the wicked surround the righteous, so justice goes forth perverted. Look among the nations and see. Wonder and be astounded. For I am doing a work in your days that you would not believe if told. For behold, I am raising up the Chaldeans, that bitter and hasty nation, who march through the breadth of the earth, to seize dwellings not their own. They are dreaded and fearsome. Their justice and dignity go forth from themselves. Their horses are swifter than leopards, more fierce than the evening wolves. Their horsemen press proudly on. Their horsemen come from afar. They fly like an eagle swift to devour. They all come for violence, all their faces forward. They gather captives like sand. At kings they scoff, and at rulers they laugh. They laugh at every fortress, for they pile up earth and take it. Then they sweep by like the wind and go on, guilty men whose own might is their God. Are you not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, you have ordained them as a judgment, and you, O Rock, have established them for reproof. You who are of purer eyes than to see evil, and cannot look at wrong, why do you idly look at traitors and are silent when the wicked swallows up the man more righteous than he? You make mankind like the fish of the sea, like crawling things that have no ruler. He brings all of them up with a hook. He drags them out with his net. He gathers them in his drag net. So he rejoices and is glad.
Net?
Therefore he sacrifices to his net and makes offerings to his drag net. For by them he lives in luxury, and his food is rich. Is he then to keep on emptying his net and mercilessly killing nations forever? Habakkuk 2.
Short book.
I will take my stand at my watchpost, and station myself on the tower, and look out to see what he will say to me, and what I will answer concerning my complaint. And the Lord answered me, Write the vision, make it plain on tablets, so he may run who reads it. For still the vision awaits its appointed time. It hastens to the end. It will not lie. If it seems slow, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Behold, his soul is puffed up. It is not upright within him. But the righteous shall live by his faith. Moreover, wine is a traitor, an arrogant man who is never at rest. His greed is as wide as Sheol. Like death, he has never enough. He gathers for himself all nations, and collects as his own all peoples. Shall not all these take up their taunt against him with scoffing and riddles for him, and say,
Sounds like the U.S.
Woe to him who heaps up what is not his own, for how long? And loads himself with pledges. Will not your debtors suddenly arise, and those awake who will make you tremble? Then you will be spoiled for them, because you have plundered many nations. All the remnant of the people shall plunder you. For the blood of man and violence to the earth, to cities and all who dwell in them. Woe to him who gets evil gain for his house, to set his nest on high, to be safe from the reach of harm. You have devised shame for your house by cutting off many peoples. You have forfeited your life. For the stone will cry out from the wall, and the beam from the woodwork respond.
Idols.
Woe to him who builds a town with blood and founds a city on iniquity. Behold, is it not from the Lord of hosts that peoples labor merely for fire, and nations weary themselves for nothing? But the earth will be filled with the knowledge of the glory of the Lord, as the waters cover the sea.
Wow.
Woe to him who makes his neighbors drink, You pour out your wrath and make them drunk, in order to gaze at their nakedness. You will have your fill of shame instead of glory. Drink yourself, and show your uncircumcision. The cup in the Lord's right hand will come around you, and utter shame will come upon your glory. The violence done to Lebanon will overwhelm you, as will the destruction of the beasts that terrified them. For the blood of man and violence to the earth, to cities and all who dwell in them. What profit is an idol, when its maker has shaped it? A metal image, a teacher of lies? For its maker trusts in his own creation, when he makes speechless idols. Woe to him who says to a wooden thing, awake, to a silent stone, arise. Can this teach? Behold, it is overlaid
Astrology.
with gold and silver, and there is no breath at all in it. But the Lord is in his holy temple. Let all the earth keep silence before him. Habakkuk 3.
Last chapter.
The prayer of Habakkuk the prophet. According to Shigionoth. O
Prayer.
Lord, I have heard the report of you, and your work, O Lord, do I fear. In the midst of the years, revive it. In the midst of the years, make it known. In wrath, remember mercy. God came from Teman, and the Holy One from Mount Paran. His splendor covered the heavens, and the earth was full of his praise. His brightness was like the light. Rays flashed from his hand, and there he veiled his power. Before him went pestilence, and plague followed at his heels. He stood and measured the earth. He looked and shook the nations. Then the eternal mountains were scattered. The everlasting hills sank low. His were the everlasting ways. I saw the tents of Cushan in affliction. The curtains of the land of Midian did tremble. Was your wrath against the rivers, O Lord? Was your anger against the rivers? Or your indignation against the sea? When you rode on your horses on your chariot of salvation, you stripped the sheath from your bow, calling for many arrows. You split the earth with rivers. The mountains saw you and writhed. The raging waters swept on. The deep gave forth its voice. It lifted its hands on high. The sun and moon stood still in their place. At the light of your arrows, as they sped, at the flash of your glittering spear, you marched through the earth in fury. You threshed the nations in anger. You went out for the salvation of your people, for the salvation of your anointed. You crushed the head of the house of the wicked, laying him bare from thigh to neck. You pierced with his own arrows the heads of his warriors, who came like a whirlwind to scatter me, rejoicing as if to devour the poor in secret. You trampled the sea with your horses, the surging of mighty waters. I hear, and my body trembles. My lips quiver at the sound. Rottenness enters into my bones. My legs tremble beneath me. Yet I will quietly wait for the day of trouble to come upon people who invade us. Though the fig tree should not blossom, nor fruit be on the vines, the produce of the olive fail, and the fields yield no food, the flock be cut off from the fold, and there be no herd in the stalls, yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will take joy in the God of my salvation. God, the Lord, is my strength. He makes my feet like the deer's. He makes me tread on my high places. To the choir master with stringed instruments.
Guy like that. I don't cut up guys in that, but I've listened to that. I don't know, 3 or 4 times, and immediately I saw things that that you could say true are true of today. One thing I remember about prophecy is it's usually in kind of a figurative thing. This is actually Habakkuk. How you say it, Habakkuk, I think. You notice the very last part said, it's to so-and-so with stringed instruments. So it's a lamentation is what it is. There's different forms of prophecy. This is a lamentation. This is crying to God. If you could probably hear, if you could hear Habakkuk saying this, he's crying to God. Some people get this, and I'm not saying I'm a prophet, but I share this with this Bible prophet, that we see things, evil, and it's like all these people are coming and going on cell phones, or he's like, nobody cares. There's a person laying in the gutter right here. I've been in Houston, Texas, and I'm not singling them out because it's across the United States, where there have been. I remember this one old lady. She was crouched down. It was just after dark, and I was walking down to a little store, and she had a loaf of bread that she'd torn open. And she's real old. She says, "Sir, can you give me something to go with my bread?" And can't remember. I think I gave her something. And then there was another guy. He'd go from trash can to trash can, right in broad daylight. He would urinate in his pants and defecate over and over. They were like stuck to him. And here's these rich people walking around on behind their cell phones. They don't give this guy the time of day. How did we get there? How did we, as Americans that will send troops to a foreign land to right their wrongs, how do we walk right past someone who's filled with their own filth and mumbling? What's going on, guys? Really, what is going on? And I played that because it was estimated that it was written about 607 years before time began, or whatever. I've always wondered why do we have AD and I mean, I understand why, but why did we pick a birth date of Jesus, a supposed birth date of Jesus? No one knows the date. I mean, I don't know. There might be a record somewhere of they were born on such a day, but and we might know approximately within a year or two or three. I don't know. But why did we base our time on that? And I know, because I researched it, Google it. But it's just another one of those things that interests me about what's wrong with this planet. I mean, the Bible is, again, this is for Christians. If you're not a Christian, turn it off, man. You don't care anyway. But the Bible is the most widely translated, the best-selling book. It's the greatest book of all time. And the world is darker than it's ever been. I say that because there are more people, which means there's more industry. There's more bad, but there's also more good. Don't get me wrong, but there's less good than there is evil. And even the good will embrace the evil if it's fun, or if it's presented as being fun. They'll get right on it. I don't want to make these long. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, guys. I'm still waiting. It's 4:44, but I'm tired. But I've been tooting on this green stuff, which a lot of people don't realize. If you get a sativa strain of marijuana, it actually energizes you a little bit, and with me, I get real clear-headed, and I just got finished smoking quite a bit of it. And if people just see, it doesn't make you into a rapist or a weirdo like Reefer Madness, the movie. Oh, it kills me. It kills me. And you know why marijuana was one of the reasons, anyway, is that minorities used it and had fun. A lot of it began to come over with, because rope, big ship rope, big thick rope, hemp, which is a cousin to marijuana, however it works. It supposedly has very little of the psychoactive ingredients. That's what's grown for use. Guess what you can't grow in the United States? Guess what you used to be able to grow in the United States before these white people came in and said, "Oh, we can't let those black people and those other foreigners have fun. Let's make it illegal. Let's make a Reefer Madness film that says you rape, so everyone that looks at these colored people will think they're rapists." It's my opinion. Alright, guys, let you go. And I apologize if I get too out there. I'll try to keep from doing that because these things are very serious. It's not about me, and I don't want anyone to ever think that I'm doing this for me. Trust me, I would be sitting over there listening to Buckethead and playing your guitar, which I have a couple of videos I'm gonna load, or one I'm gonna load one after this one. It cuts off, or yeah, it cuts off. Oh, it cuts off because the camera, when this camera gets full, it shuts down. So I always have to free space. I can basically do 1 or 2 videos at a time. I upload them to YouTube, I have to wait, and so I'm cool with that. I need to take more time to do videos anyway, especially videos that are some kind of significance. This one was, but like I said, I'm not trying to cram the Bible down anyone's throat. This is a prophet in the Bible, and I call it a minor prophet. I think it's the 37th book of the Bible, something like that. But it's just prophecy, and like I said, prophecy is figurative. But having been written so long ago, this prophet talking about chariots that go real fast and things that fly, and there, I might have missed the first part of this book because what I'm doing, I have an app, a Bible app. It will continue to play, so I had to start it and then hurry up and jump over to to turn the camera on. So anyway, there was a part that said about evil, something, law, rulers that will come and take everything you own. That's what it says. And that's what I was talking about in an earlier video, that it is possible under the right circumstances for law enforcement to seize all of your property. If you have an amount of marijuana that's I'm not sure how it works. In other words, I think if they think you're dealing it, like if you and your wife separated into bags because you don't want to carry it to work because it's illegal, so you just got like 10 little bags, yeah, you're a dealer. Give us everything you own and go to jail. Don't pass go. You're not even going to collect $200. State of Texas prison system used to give people $200 when they left, which was good. Now it's $100, and you get $50 at the gate, and you get $50 when you report to your parole officer. Go down and get you some Starbucks and a cell phone. You'll be broke. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see where this goes. I'll try to do more things for Christians and less ranting and raving, because I've said enough, I think. The powers that be, they're not going to do anything. It's going to take a lawsuit from somebody like me. And like I said, I'm filing for the maximum amount. I'm going to get the meanest attorneys in this nation. Or if I have to go international, I don't know if they can sue. Well, some probably can. I want the best. I want the Dick DeGarens, the Racehorse Haynes. You know, I want those are notable Texas attorneys. I want someone who's not afraid to go after the government, and I will actually compensate them more than the law requires if they are really aggressive. But the main thing is, I want to be involved. I was going to represent myself, but I could do that. I could just research it, and we're allowed to do that. And all I got to do is talk and show records. Why'd you do this, Doc? The record says you gave medicine and that there's no consultation noted. Why'd you do that? What's that hear from? Mr. Wolf, why did you force a veteran to give up their necklace that has a cross on it when you threatened to kick them out? Why'd you do that, sir? It's right here on record. And you still have the cross. VA still has a cross. I'm not going to go get that cross. I'm not going to get it. They can have it. I got my cross. Got my little Zuni Indian cross that I dig a lot. Got that in Colorado while I was up there getting weed, which it cost me about several $100s just to get there, because I won't go down here on the streets and try to get it, which I could, but there's too much synthetic marijuana. And I was looking for the necklace. I made the point the necklace is tangled up in this little, see that light one? The light one there? It broke real easy. I checked into the VA, and they wanted to take my cross, the other one that was around my neck. So I said no. All the while they're going through my stuff, they missed that cross. They missed this one. So all the while they're jerking this, I have to jerk this one off my neck. For whatever reason, I'm going to choke somebody. Go up against a combat vet and see how far you get. It's a little piece of metal. And in there they'll hand you a cell phone this big that I couldn't even dial on. You got to hit talk first. You got to hit 9. What happened to? a mental hospital. People are not in their right mind, I would have you know, when they go to a mental hospital. Why are you going to hand them a complicated gadget that they could open up and swallow the battery? Oh, but we're going to take your cross. When I have a right to practice religious faith, I have a right to refuse treatment, period. I have a right to have someone there when all my treatment is administered to give me advice, because I might not be in my right mind. Oh, but if you're not in your right mind, you'd have nobody to speak for you. Guess what? You will be a guinea pig for the VA. That's what this is. I meant to follow up on that in another video. They had 2 interns. There was a supervising physician, and but he didn't do anything. And so they're numbing. This guy's going real fast. It's hurt. I said, stop. Sir, put your arm down. I said, stop it! I said, you're fucking hurting me, man. And that doctor comes up and says, what's wrong? I said, this dude's hurting me, man. And he said, you're going a little too fast, and you're going. He was going in the wrong direction. Dentists, every dentist I've been to, they know if they put some numbing agent in a little ahead, it'll numb the area that the needle's going to go in. So you basically almost don't feel anything. I felt everything. Oh boy. And anyway, why let interns do surgery on veterans? Why let interns do surgery on people, period, until they reach a certain level, which this person obviously hadn't reached? No college student should be allowed to perform any medical procedure in a hospital. Maybe minor procedures under direct supervision of a physician, which this supposedly was under direct supervision. Why did he not jump over there when I'm telling these people to stop? And it gets better. This got infected. Or no, I had one here. I don't know if you'll be able to see the scar. It doesn't matter if you can see it or not. It's somewhere there. I got a cancer at the same time. They did 3 of them. This got infected. It got infected so bad, and I got I got it all on YouTube, on tapes, and they're all hidden now. And it got infected. It just blew up, and it was pussy 5 days later. So I go back. Guess what? They take all the stitches out. The same idiots. And they wash and they flush, and it hurts, and I have to stop them again. That on top of leaving this fucking hole in my nose. That's quality health care, Mr. VA head guy, President Trump, Office of Inspector General. That's VA health care at its finest. Going into a hospital as a mental patient, no rights read to you. Going for surgery and having your face butchered. Oh, and I can list more. I went there in the hospital with a hemorrhoid, bleeding real bad. I woke up, I had to call the Veterans Crisis Line. The good guys came, the police and the ambulance, 2 ladies, by the way. And they took me to the hospital. I'm wheeled down on a gurney to the VA ER at Olin Teague in Temple, Texas. They informed me that there's no beds. I'm lying on a bed. I know it belongs to the ambulance, but okay, I'm bleeding. Anyway, they pushed me into the waiting room. They said, as soon as we get a bed available, about 3 hours later, I'm watching people come in and go, finally, I stagger over to the, I said, why haven't I been seen? Am I even checked in? Yeah, I'm not like, oh, I'm sure you checked in. And she said, no, they didn't check you in. I arrived at an ER bleeding and wasn't even checked in. And it's on record. I got the EMS record because I got a bill. I know what time they picked me up, I know what time I got to the hospital, and I know what time I got checked in. And you will hear it in court, Mr. VA big guy. You're going to hear it in court. Because I've already decided I'm going to take each individual right that has been violated. I'm going to take every injury I've suffered at the hands of the VA, including mental anguish from antidepressants. I'm running it up in you, buddy. I'm tired of playing around, because apparently you don't care. You would have already done something about it. And maybe you are doing something about it, but you're not doing it fast enough. There needs to be immediate action, not a long roll of papers that people won't implement anyway because the supervisors are pussies. All they want to do is draw a check. That's all. As a matter of fact, a lot of government employees, that's all they do. Go into any government facility and look around. I was in a mental hospital, 94B, Waco. And I have a question about how long will it be before I leave or something like that. It was early in the morning. So I go over to I tap on the little window. It's got little holes in it, like a jail. Tap, tap, tap. There's 3 employees in there. They're showing each other things on the cell phone. And I tap, tap, tap louder. One of them looks over and kind of gives me a look like that. I tap, tap, tap. They said, what? I said, I have a question. And they interrupted me. I said, look, if you don't let me ask my question, I'm going to file a grievance and a complaint. Well, what's your question? All I want to know is how long is it going to take for me to process out. So I go through all. I'm made to look like I'm bothering healthcare professionals in a mental psych ward for help. My point being, it's the supervisors, that Mr. Wolf, that I ripped my cross off my neck so I could stay in treatment. He told me I would be kicked out if I didn't give up my cross. Think about that a minute. Think about that a minute. If I don't give up my cross, you'll kick me out of mental health treatment that I earned as a veteran. Who the fuck are you, buddy? You misinterpret patient rights. Nobody gets told patient rights when they come into that 94B, and that's your responsibility to have your staff do that. You know? Oh no, I sat down in Temple just waiting to get to the VA for several hours. And I'm having a supposedly psychotic event they don't know I'm playing. I'm testing them. And by God, I think I passed that test. It was pretty tough. Some colored folk knew what was going on. I didn't even tell them. They knew. They were like, I mean, they didn't know exactly. They knew I wasn't crazy. And I was actually pretty good. I like to go into acting, and I kind of do on my YouTube videos anyway. But all right, guys, I'll let you go, and I hope I do a video on some high mountaintop with a beautiful girl telling you, with a bunch of money, and we'll be burning one with a little campfire and some hot dogs and marshmallows and dog, and we'll say,